we don't get a lot of background on Mia's relationship with her mother, like Mei Shui, who's passed away. Obviously, it was a big deal, and that's sort of how she got to where she is now. But how have you developed? Like, have you developed in your mind either that relationship or the level of isolation, that kind of upbringing that she had? Do you have like ideas about what that would have been like?
I did think about it. For me, I feel like it was just I concentrated more on like um the one person I rely on and the one person that trusted me completely, and I let them down.
Yeah.
That the only person I ever had. And I decided to do something for myself, and the worst thing ended up happening.
Yeah,
So
the
I
consequence.
yeah, so I tried to like just tap into that more. And I feel like that for her to be impulsive and stuff like that, like it just I felt like to to give him more reasoning, it was just because I was just so upset with like how I ruined everything.
Mm.
I needed to do something about it. And just the drive that I had to do something about it. That's why like she doesn't listen to anyone and she just does what she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of thing. But yeah. But about her relationship with her mom, I just thought that it was a loving thing until she realized like, oh, I want to see more. So I didn't think
Yeah.
about it too much. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
fair enough. I think that, Mia has been quite interesting because she's quite quiet, but she is quite like well, I guess impulsive or independent. It's like she doesn't have any social perspective of like, being in a group or being together with
Right.
people, which is
Right.
really interesting. I guess that level of kind of like social outsider, was any of that like particularly funny or particularly difficult to play with for you, or which parts of that
Honestly,
element?
it's like
Mhm.
I don't want to be sad and stuff, but like
No.
it wasn't hard at all. Like I
Oh.
feel like because like
Oh.
yeah, I left home like when I was 17 and I went to China, and I felt like those were like the developing years for me to like, figure out who I was. But I was alone, right, in China, and I at that point like I just to be thrown in like a whole different like continent and everything, it kind of like made me much stronger in a way where like I just thought like what like how do I protect myself? Like honestly, that's where it comes from, like the lone wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
Obviously like it's not as bad as Mia, like I'm not like that in real
Yeah.
life, but like if I do watch out more for myself in real life too. So there's definitely parallels in like Mia and me as well. I think that just comes from like wanting to protect yourself, right? When you feel like you can't rely on anyone, that's where you think more for yourself and like, okay, what how do I protect myself? How do I make sure like I'm not being vulnerable, like people are not gonna like take me for granted or whatever it is that people like to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, that I mean that's fair enough, and there are a lot of people like that. She doesn't feel like, like she's not like raised by wolves or anything. She's still
No,
like
no, no,
normal,
no.
but like
Yeah,
uh
certain
um
point.
but it has been interesting to watch that contrast of, her coming, especially in the early episodes before she kind of runs away from the Shens,
Mhm.
that she has that really different perspective on family to Nikki. Like, Nikki says, but your family, and it's like for Nikki, that's like a trump card that like, every like
Yeah,
that should explain everything. But for
yeah,
Mia,
and for
it just
her, like,
for
yeah,
Mia, it just
like,
doesn't go in the same, like it doesn't matter to her in the same way.
yeah,
What do you think it is that made her feel like, differently, like whether or not she feels like, that that deep bond like Nikki does, but what is it that what do you think is the real turning point of trust? Obviously, we had, Mia's first meeting with Jillian, which we'll come to because this episode also has a lot of Mia and Jillian, but
yeah.
you know what was the what did Mia say to herself to decide to go home to the Shens, to actually accept and trust this scenario? Because it seemed very
I,
difficult for her to do that.
yeah. I feel like it's when she's given her own right to speak about what she's thinking about and not be persuaded by others or other people's intentions. So I feel like in episode 2 when she said, "Oh, your family," I think in my head I was thinking, well, that's what it is to you. To me, it's not like that. But in episode 5, when she does see me again, she explains that like it's your decision. I just want you to know that everyone does care about you and we want the best for you. And there was given space for her to kind of process that instead of just forcing it on and be like, you should be doing this.
Yeah, accept this,
Yeah.
like I accept it. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're
Fair enough.
family. So come back. Like, yeah. So I think that was the difference. And also the truth. I feel like the truth is really important to her.
Yeah.
And if she can find wherever the truth is, that's where she's gonna go.
Yeah, well, that definitely seems like it's got some dramas coming up when we you know talk about this recent episode. But you are a very good actress at being very vulnerable and very raw in emotion. And especially last week, when we saw Mia finally, we sort of see the actress playing Mei Shui for the first time, and that interaction with watching her death, and then the response when she wakes up as well, having processed that. Do you find that kind of level of like very emotional raw drama easy or difficult, or like how do you kind of tap into, because it's very raw, like that your performances, that kind of level of trauma is very upsetting, to be honest. So, good for you.
To be honest, it's not that hard for me because I don't know, like I feel like day to day, like I feel a lot, but I just don't show it. Like obviously I want to go around and like start crying and stuff. But to get into that headspace, so it's quite interesting. So Russell Ki Chan, the actor who played Russell, it was actually my first time meeting him
on that one.
Yeah. And I remember, the day before we shot that scene in the cabin, which was all shot in one day. I remember thinking to myself, like, I know we're actors, but like, I can't talk to him tomorrow. Like, I was like, he killed my mom. Like, I can't sit in the green room with him. Like, how am I supposed to? Yeah. So like, I was in it so deep, and that's the only way for me to not lie to anyone. I never want to lie to the audience or whoever's watching about what I'm feeling. So unless I'm feeling it, I don't show it. So yeah, like that whole day, I remember we got picked up at 4 a.m. Thank God we were in different cars. Yeah. And I saw him for the first time. I was like, I'm Mia. And I'm sorry, but like, I'm not gonna tell you today, okay? Like, just leave me in the corner. Yeah. And I don't know, it's like I was just so in it. Like I remember when as soon as he pointed the gun, I was just imagining like, that's my mom, like you're about to kill her, like I can't do anything about it. Like it was so upsetting. So yeah, it was just all very real and raw. Well, yeah, and that's the way I could get there. It's where I actually believe that you're about to kill my mom. Like I have to just get completely there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was very effective, but that's really interesting.
Yeah.